Matthew chapter 14 and verse 23. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. So Shalom, in this lesson, I'll pretty much just be addressing pretty much just as as we feed others in whatever way you're doing it, make sure you're being fed, you know. Make sure you're filling back up, to be able to pour back out in whatever lot you may be pouring out in, as one competing for the approval, and the acquittal of Yahweh Bashmiel Shah. Through being in a lot you're in, and by obviously ultimately finishing it and that being your aim. But before I get into this, call Halam La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Waha, Wakak Wadash, double honors to the hopefully like elder apostles and elder bishops at the Great Millstone Church. Shalom to all the Akim out here under the same doctrine, doing what they need to do in order, according to the scriptures, across the four corners of the globe, nonetheless and regardless. And to the rest of you believers, all of the believers in on this faith, Shalom. And Kwam Yashala. So, yeah, pretty much I'm going to probably subtitle this too. The how can I say this? It was, it hit me in my mind. Pretty much this deals with the, the burden of the cross and whatnot. If it comes back, it'll be in a subtitle. But, but more so, like I said, this is just dealing with filling back up. As you're feeding others, you got to make sure you're fed. You're being fed. And we even learned this, through our Lord, who came down and pretty much he became the author and the finisher of our faith, as it tells us in the book of Hebrews. So who better than to look to, obviously, than to, regarding, that tiresome feeling you feel, off exhausting, yourself. For what the Lord said through Paul, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua said through Paul. Obviously Paul said it, but he endures all things for the elect's sake. So yeah, that endurance. So you gotta be, and that goes back to the point you want to make, or the reason for this lesson. You want to make sure you're able to. You want to make sure you're filling back up. You're fueling back up. As you're exhausting fuel, you have to refill it. And that's just how it goes. You could do things, which some of the things that you should be doing are laid out in this verse. It's going to be laid out through the scripture, through this lesson. I don't want Ratazah. But, yeah, it's just like, when you exhale, you got to inhale. It's just how these concepts go. As you, perspirate, if I said that correctly, you have to rehydrate. All right. And so forth. You see it, and it's just how it go. It's how this thing work. It's vital for you to do that in order to continue. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's gonna come. And like I said, who better than Yahushua to learn from it from? And then obviously other believers. So let this be some exhortation to you. All right, some edification to you others that may be in a different lot, but no matter if you a brother teaching or not, a brother, but you a believer, you could be a woman, a sister that believe. We all got different lots, and we all, are exhausting what we've been given for Yahweh Bashmi Shah, for, like I said, that approval and acquittal, which we also need. But this is Matthew 14:21. I'm gonna actually start back at 20. I'm gonna start at 22. And straightway Yahweh constrained his disciples to get into a ship and go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. So yeah, as we, as we do this work, because it's just through the Spirit. I was just, you don't want to put no crap out. I ain't want to just put no crap out. Something that's not really real. The Spirit not there. There's no real energy there. So the lesson could, make all the sense in the world, but it might be out of timing. See, when the Spirit is there, it's always in timing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's aligned with the time, and it's going to be on time. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and you still have to maintain your discipline, no matter if you get exhausted. You can't fall off. You just got to, because you're exhausting yourself or whatever it is, you got to fill back up on it. You spend money, you got to make more. A lot going out. You gotta bring more back in. Anyway, Matthew 14 and 23. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. So yeah, man, sometimes you just need to just fall back and reflect, but not fall back from your duties. You just need to pretty much, pretty much keep a balance. All right. We all about having wisdom, but you got to shoot forth wisdom in time. So it may be wisdom that is to be seen in your lot from you, in whatever manner it may be. You have to make sure you're doing that, but you want to make sure after you do that, really when you need to, that you put yourself back in position to do that, and you keep yourself in position to do that. So you don't do the most. So that'll be a time of, falling back after you done took care of business. But that's when it comes upon you, that tired, that your mental faculties, etc. When you giving this thing your all, that's that burden, that's that cross. You know what I'm saying? Then you want to make sure your strength is there too, because the scriptures tell you when you go to Proverbs, the 24th chapter, and what's that 10th verse? If thy strength, if thy faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So yeah, fainting is basically falling out. You know what I'm saying? But so you don't want to you want to examine that too. Make sure you don't feel weak because your strength is small. So you want to make sure you got strength. But even as you do what you're supposed to do, consistently, eventually it's gonna creep in on you. It just comes with the territory. No pain, no gain. Like, no burden felt. You ain't bearing the cross. That's your testament that you have it. You're bearing it. But anyway, this is Matthew 14 and 23 again. And when he meaning Yahushua had sent the multitudes away. He went up into a mountain apart to pray, you know. So after he took care of business, that the Lord, he felt, you know, the burden of the world, man. He felt it, man. He stayed on it, and he went into a mountain, you know what I'm saying, by himself to pray, you know, because to refuel, because he was constantly feeding. The scriptures tell you that. Let me get that. In Luke 19 and 47, and he taught daily in the temple. See, and he taught daily in the temple, but the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him. So yeah, so the point is, you know, the Lord, he you know, he was always teaching daily, and Jake warned him, you know, where are you? It says, and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to him, to hear him. So yeah, he always had to keep himself in position to be able to be that water, you know, that to where he could say things like, if any man thirsts, let him come up to me and drink. He had to keep, you know, it's like a fountain. You got to keep that fountain maintenance, you know, up to where it could be stay up and running, you know. But in the main way you do that, so is really, let me go back to the point, even though that's a part of it, but it's just something I want to say. When it says, when he went up into a mountain apart to pray, that's him giving the example. That shows you the instance of the example I made. Basically, when you feeding Jake, because he's feeding Jake, you know, you take and eat, you know, for it is my body, you know. You make your body a living sacrifice, man. You being feasted off of, man, like completely, you know. But since that's not literal, you know, and it's spiritual, we have to make sure, if people gonna feast on you, you have to make sure, you know, that's able to happen. You know, you set up a dinner for people to eat, you have to make sure food stays supplied, and you're in a position to have that continually going. So just on a simple example I made, which was, you know, as you're feeding, you know, others, you got to make sure you get fed, and that's what's saying in this Matthew 14:23. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. See that? Meaning what? He went to get fed, because the Lord told us in Matthew. I'll just get it real quick since it's on the point. Matthew in the 4th chapter, Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God the Father. Right? So that's why he went up into the mountain to pray. You know? Literally. Because you gotta think this, that's a whole nother communication. You communicating with God, he communicate back, man. He giving you words back. He gonna give you that strength back. He gonna talk to your spirit. He went to get his spirit talked to, strengthen who he actually was. You know what I'm saying? But it says, and when the evening was come, he was there alone. So yeah, sometimes you just, you know what I'm saying, you have to do things to make sure you keep your standard, you stay in position. I ain't gonna try to hold no words back. I'm gonna just say what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this, when you putting your all in it, you can't act like you can't conk out, man. It's like a car. You gotta make sure that mug keep running. know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it go, man. Especially depending on if you got a lot of teaching, being a prophet, this shit wear on you, man. When you diligent, this weather we go through, and you putting your all into it. You ain't just slapping crap together. You ain't winging it. You ain't half stepping it. You daily like the Lord. So let me read on. It says Mark 6:43, and when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. So, that's just doubling down on the point. He sent them away in a mountain to pray. And it says, and when even was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. So sometimes these are just different instances of things you could do. He'd go out, probably sightsee, get in the elements, pray, talk to the Most High, just do the obviously things he liked, that refresh his mind, things that's good for the spirit. He'll balance out. That was a balance out, because you can't just be teaching. That's being over righteous and never, Lord drunk wine, but you want to do everything measurably. But anyway, this is Luke 8, and this is another instance. This is Luke 8, and I'm going to start at verse 45. When Yahushua said, "Who touched me?" When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, "Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, who touched me?" See that? So Yahushua was dealing with a lot, man. You would get, when you really involved, like, you can get, you start to feel the effects of it, man. It start to show, Not to say the Lord wasn't perfect, but he was in the flesh. It says, and Yahushua said, "Somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me." You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, when you depleting your reserves. You don't want to run out. When the gas get low, you go back and fill up. You don't let the thing go completely out. So that's basically that. I can go into other things. He was, the sins of the world was upon him, everything. And that's how I feel. People asking questions. You camp heads. You have been in a long time. You men that's been given a lot. You men that you probably ain't get the most, but it's a lot for you nonetheless. You still been entrusted. Like, it's you taking it serious, and sisters out there, you helps, brothers on the listening. You try to be an aid, always a support. You around, making sure brothers, know that they words ain't falling on deaf ears. You might just do that. Like, that's beautiful, man. Probably tithe, these different things. So you just gotta make sure you But if you ain't feeling like that, it's only when you feeling like that. This is only for when you feeling like that. If you ain't never really in position to ever feel like that, don't try to act like you are. And you probably want to double check. Make sure, see if there's more you could be doing. But nonetheless, this is Colossians 3 and 23. It says, "And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men." I should have just got these through the Spirit. I just had scriptures lined up. So you know what? Let me come here. This is Luke 19 and 47. It says, "And he taught them daily." So we learn in Yahushua, like he told us. He said, First of all, as I already said, he's the author and the finisher of our faith, but he said, learn of me, for I am lowly, and you shall find rest unto your souls. So the Lord will show you how to recoup, how to get it done, get the job done. He's the author and the finisher of our faith, you know, how to not be over righteous, how to balance out, you know, how to, bounce back if you feel depleted, how to get through those moments, how to deal with it, and see it through the end. Just because you still, just because you feeling tired, that don't mean you fall back. It says, let me read it again. And he taught daily in the temple. He never stopped. That's a discipline. I felt, I wasn't gonna force nothing, but that's what's been entrusted to me, to teach daily. So that's what I'm always gonna do through the spirit and power and mercy, and permission of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. But I just gotta make sure I keep myself in top tier condition to be able to do it, to where is exhorting and strengthening, which leads me to my next scripture. It says, and he taught them daily in the temple, but the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him. Right? You got everybody listening to you as it go on to say. Now I'll just read that real quick. It says, and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. Right? So you gotta have something for people to hear. For the brothers and sisters to hear. You gotta make sure you're able to talk. Keep your health right, all this. But anyway, it says Matthew 3:13, but exhort one another daily. See that? Because we feel these same things too, because we've been set up, some of us to do this. To what? To exhort one another daily. And that is when you feel depleted, because you're giving other people your strength, your virtue. You know what I'm saying? So big, but exhort one another daily. You still got to do it. You endure all things for the elect's sake, because this is for the elect's sake, and for you to cover a multitude of sins, by giving, aka charity. Charity is giving. What? Giving unto others, man. Giving your strength, giving your body as a living sacrifice. But anyway, so you always got to be in position to offer. All right? You can't run out of, calves, if you will, to be able to offer up. But anyway, it says the calf of our lips, that is, those that know what I'm talking about, you get it. But anyway, but exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin, which is why we do this. Because, being away for one day, and somewhere else, hence the world, you become a nigga again. Ain't nothing. That's why I said, give us our daily bread. Easy to feel hungry. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I covered everything. So I'm gonna read this. It's Colossians 3:23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Yahweh HaMashiach. So the Lord, he sees what we doing, but he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons. So, that's why you still got to do it, but the Lord, he gave us a way to where or I say it like this, he has it to where we can make sure to where we ain't got to be over righteous. We're not supposed to be over righteous, to to where He'll understand when we feel tired. You know, that's literally the ministry. You know, it's a cross. All right. So you're gonna have things along the road to aid you, to help you, that may come in that you can use to, you know, in those moments. You know what I'm saying? To get the job done. That's like the brother that came and helped you Howard Shaw last minute. You know, relieve things to relieve you. So take advantage and utilize this knowledge. All right. You know, regroup, recoup, do these different things. You know, sometimes you just need to, after you still, you know, meet the requirement, be alone. You know, meaning, within, lock into yourself. You know, and remind yourself of why you're here, and you know, and etc. Man, that's really it. So with that call, I'm like, how about me? I'll shower, how Dash, Lord willing, you've been edified, exhorted, you know, to say the least. And Lord willing, the Lord, please, Shalom.